So we open up with this shot in Youghal station with locomotive 191 shunting empty beet wagons. That locomotive was the engine that suffered a runaway accident at Clonsilla in the early 1990s. So the Youghal branch lost its goods services in 1978. But from that point onwards, the line was operated just on a one engine and steam. But during the Beet season prior to 1978, all signal capitals would have been manned. But on a different occasion, we have 162 shunting wagons at Youghal. At 162 parts for Youghal. So there were normally 2 sugar beet workings daily over the Youghal branch, and interestingly, the beet traffic was destined for Tuam Sugar Factory, which surprised me a little bit because you would expect that Mallow sugar beet factory would have been a bit nearer. But I think Mallow wasn't receiving beet traffic during the 70s, so hence that's why it was dispatched to Tuam instead. So this is taken from the goods loading bank at Middleton, and that's Middleton Station. That's Cove Junction, joining the main line back up to Cork, or Town as it's called nowadays. And that's usually have a 30-ton brake van on the rear. And then the same train is captured passing through Dunkettle. And you can see Dunkettle Station in the background. That's actually where Joe St. Ledger was born and grew up. And so he grew up in a railway family in the station house in Dunkettle. Unfortunately, there's nothing left of the station nowadays. So that's the loading platform at Youghal station, and that just shows you the way beef was loaded then. There's an A class arriving in from Cork with empty wagons on a wintry day. We have to now preserve A class 039. So that engine is preserved by the Irish Traction Group and is operational at the Downpatrick and County Down. And one thing that's nice about these shots taken during the Beet season, you get that lovely low winter light that Joe's managed to capture here at Youghal. You can see the method of shunting here. He has laden wagons at the front, and then he has the empties at the rear with the brake van in the middle. And he would propel the empty wagons up to the loading bank. That's an interesting registration on that lorry. 1 PIF. And you can see that the man just jumps up on the side of the wagon there and starts helping them. But if he slipped, he'd break his neck. You know? So that's on a different day, a shorter beat working with 018. And then a nice shot taken at Killa. You can see that there's a little digger tractor there that's helping to load Beet into wagons. I've seen a shot recently at Killa, and there's now the station is sort of tidied up, but the track has been lifted for the Greenway. We have O15 arriving into Middleton, again with empty wagons from Cork. This will take the steps of the signal cabin, and then Joe is moved to the loading bank. Then this is a laden working, heading back towards Cork. That's O15 again. You can see the cement dust on the cab. It probably suffered an accident either in Cork or Limerick when it was loading cement bubbles. So that's what all that dust is on the front of the cab. That's approaching Bhutan. That's loading Beet with tractor at Middleton. O49, a lovely shot passing Middleton signal cabin. So as mentioned, during the Beet season, all the signal cabins would have been manned. And at this time, Middleton still boasted a footbridge in the station, but you'll see later that that footbridge was actually dismantled and taken away by road lorry to a different station, which I haven't quite determined which station it was yet. So that's the 30-ton brake van on the rear and approaching Cove Junction. This was taken after there was extensive remodelling here in June 1981. So by this time, it was just a single track turnout off the branch onto the main line. Originally, it was a double track junction. So we have locomotive 141, the class leader, departing Cove Junction, train to Cove, and this was taken during June 1981, just when they started the remodelling work. See number 163 is in attendance with the Mallow steam crane, which you see in the background. See, there's the original double track junction. So that's the steam crane that you see preserved at Mallow Station beside the car park. And isn't it so interesting to see a Midland Great Western six-wheel carriage still in use in 1981 of permanent way work? Was would have dated from the 1890s, that carriage. Ukrainian. So the layout was operative from Sunday the 14th of June 1981. I think on this particular day, an A class was in attendance. It's very windy, so I mean that probably caused a bit of problems trying to get the panels off the wagons. And so we move now to Merino Point, and we have a brand new ammonia train pulling out of Merino Point. So 6 tank wagons with a barrier wagon at front and rear. So work at the Merino complex started in October 1975. The following year, the wagons were ordered, and in July 1978, the wagons arrived into North Wall. They were built by a French company, Youghal. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. My French isn't that French. They're nearly all hauled by A classes, so there's ammonia working, approaching Cork Junction. A Merino Point, the siding opened on the 26th of August 1979 and was controlled from Cove Signal Cabin. Now that's FOTA, and we have some shots of excursion workings to and from FOTA for the Scouts. So I think the FOTA Wildlife Park is a popular destination for Scouts, even to this day. See, Joe managed to capture some of the scenes. This was all taken in the late 1970s. That special working was followed by an ammonia train. See some of the scout leaders there with the megaphone. And you can see the newly installed footbridge that originally came from Dunkettle Station. And this is North-Est, and we see a passenger train passing through the loop sidings. When I showed these films recently down in Cork, we suspect that these may well have been GAA specials that have been stabled in North-Est due to constrained space at Kent Station. Joe captures this excursion working, probably empty, pulling out of North-Est, heading back to Cork City, followed by 2 GM diesels. Well enough train, made up as so often in those days of laminate stock and hard oils and all sorts. This is an excursion coming off the All Branch Hall by an 071 class engine, number 079. It may well have been a Pfizer staff excursion. They frequented the branch a lot in the late 70s and early 80s. That's it, joining the main line at Cove Junction. And this is an excursion working from Cork, passing through Killa, hauled by an A class. You can see on the left there, that's one of the loading banks for the Beet workings. And you'll also notice that the semaphore signals have X's on them. So when during out of the Beet season, the signal cabins were effectively not staffed really. They weren't operating as proper block posts, so the semaphore signals are marked with X's, as you can see there. That's 036 in Youghal, an excursion working, and taken all probably in the late 1970s. We're just going to briefly return for a few more shots of Beet trains. That's the A-class leader, number 001. That engine had, not entirely unique, but it was very distinctive in having the sort of shaded numbers on it. It was the first engine to receive the Super Train livery. As you can see there, that's taken in Middleton. And passing through Dunkettle. And all this area is totally unrecognizable now. I think if you stand here nowadays, you're standing right in the middle of the well-known Dunkettle interchange. It's another Beet working passing through Tivoli with the oil sidings there. The one on the extreme right is for Burma oil. And we're just going to go back to Middleton and I'll show you the footbridge being removed. So that's an empty Beet working from Cork. Now I have speeded this film up because if I ran it at normal speed, we'd be here all night, but you can kind of get the impression of what's going on there. Let's say onto Larry. And I haven't identified which station this footbridge was taken away to, because it certainly wasn't scrapped. May well have been brought up to Dublin to be used at one of the suburban stations. Clonsilla, do you think so? Yeah. Yeah. Of course, while all that was going on, the trains continue as normal. That just probably wouldn't happen nowadays. They'd probably close the line for a whole weekend. I've included this shot of 039 pulling out of Mogeely because it actually, I'm fairly sure it shows Joe St. Ledger's colleague Tony Price, who was down on this particular day also doing filming. So I think you'll see Tony running into the shot with his camera and tripod. You see there's Tony there, coming down from the bus loading bank. He's not too sure whether he's in Joe's shot or not. He's a bit hesitant. And there's the man himself, Joe, doing another well-known selfie shot of a 149, the party, Middleton. You can see by this stage the footbridge has gone. But maybe you're correct, Colin, that went to Clonsilla, all right, yes. Passing through Carrigtwohill, you can see the Beet siding on the left had already been lifted. The last sugar beet working from Youghal ran in 1981. That's 141 joining the main line at Cove Junction. And sister engine 142 is preserved by the RPSI at Whitehead. And that brings us to the break time now, so I hope you enjoyed those two films I've shown here tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Ciarán.